I'm Josh Henkin, creator of Sandbag Fitness Systems. Welcome to SandbagExercises.com and our studio here in Scottsdale, Arizona. What we're going to cover today are the 5 top abdominal or core exercises you can do with sandbags. Sandbags have long been underrated as one of the best tools in improving core and abdominal strength. The core is not limited to your abs though. Core is also your back and your hips. Together they can stabilize the pelvis and the spine. A lot of times we place overemphasis on only the abdominals. You'll see the exercise today, there's no crunching, there's no sit-ups. In actuality, our core is not meant to produce motion that we're most commonly associated with those exercises, such as flexion, rather than to help stabilize the body during motion. Our bags too, because they're awkward and a lot of times they're sitting on our body, are going to work the deeper core musculature that's very hard to hit in traditional abdominal exercises. So check out our 5 sandbag exercises for your core. Our first exercise that we're going to demonstrate today is the overhead press. You can use a push press, which means a little bit of leg drive, or a jerk, which requires you to use more legs than you getting underneath the weight. The point is that we want to lift this bag overhead. Anytime we lift a weight overhead, 2 things are occurring. One is my center of gravity is changing, so now there's more work being done by the trunk to keep my postural alignment. Secondly, what's really only unique to sandbags is that the weight is shifting as I'm lifting it. With a bar, a kettlebell, or a dumbbell, I can really get into position, sort of gear into the lift. Because the sandbags are moving and shifting constantly, my body has to coordinate and work with a bag. Makes more muscles using. You also find you expend more calories. Also, there's no such thing as a sandbag rack, so this requires us to clean the bag every single time you start. Now there's 2 options. You grab onto our handles. Now the handles make it much more difficult to press because once I get clean, I'm already underneath the bag. I typically recommend using our side flaps where you'll roll into the bag. This gives us a more stable grip option. So, raise the bag up. Now, I'm going to use a push press. I can readjust myself up here. I'm going to dip and overhead. Back down. Dip and overhead. Now, I can just drop it and come back down. But you can see the unstable nature of the bag. The bag's sinking, also the bag is shifting. Using the side flaps, I'm also getting great grip work, which is building my forearms, my hands, and my arm strength. You can see the trick is to lock yourself in alignment. Being standing, I also have to use my glutes, my hamstrings, and my low back. Everything is getting worked. Second drill is a shouldering lunge, a classic sandbag drill. Now, only having the weight on one side of my body forces my body to resist rotation, especially laterally, which is really important because most people get injured. Lateral motions were very tight and stiff. Secondly, the bag is resting on my body. Unlike kettlebells right here, while kettlebell front squats are a great exercise, more of my core is used with the bag actually what's called axial loading my body. This has been shown to also improve bone density. So again, we're get our hands underneath the bag, shoulder our back up. It's crucial here that I don't allow myself to lean. Deep squat, up, squat, and up. My weight's on my heels, and I remain in good alignment. Third is the classic get-up, sit-up. We're not going to perform the full get-up. If you perform the get-up, sit-up, you can focus a little more on the trunk. The get-up, sit-up is great, but we're going to be limited by how much you can also stand and position. So using our bag again, reach to our shoulder. An old wrestling exercise that is phenomenal rotational strength as well as trunk flexion. So you want to make sure the bag is evenly loaded. You know, roll, drive through, and finally from here, elevate. Now you can hold or just come right back down. So to roll, drive to that arm, push to the heel, elevate, hold, and back down. That's similar to doing a weighted side plank. Again, talking earlier, rotational exercises are tough, resisting rotational exercises is even harder. Something that strength training expert Mike Will recommends is actually learning how to resist rotation to help back help. Now, using a smaller bag, we're going to do another exercise, the overhead lunge. Lunging itself is terrific. By placing the bag overhead, though, we work with several different components. We've increased point of center of gravity, increasing more core strength, instability of my bag overhead, and the lunging component, which means in the unilateral leg exercise, is also going to challenge my whole core to stay stabilized. So here, you grab the end, snatch it, you can clean the jerk overhead, doesn't really matter. Arms locked, big step, down, right back up. Right through my heel, and back up. Highly underappreciated exercise. Start with a small bag, progress upwards. As the bag gets bigger, notice that the exercise gets harder even if the weight doesn't change. Lastly, is a rotational deadlift with a load. I'm going to take my little step here, place right next. One reason our forefathers were so strong is a lot of manual labor work. Well, we've become, I guess, fundamentally easier lifestyles, so we're not doing the same manual labor we used to. So what we're going to do is simulate some classic farming type exercises. You know, farmers are awesome and classic, wrestlers, very strong. What we're going to do is a deadlift with a rotational load. It's very important we keep our weight on our heels. Use our hips to assist our body rotation. So I set my bag up to the side of me. We're going to grab our parallel handles, pushing through my right hip, elevate, and load. Pick it up, same thing, rotate, boom, up. You can see use the bend, set, and the elevate. You get good explosion to the hips. Make sure you do equal work on both sides. Those are our top 5 core sandbag drills.